Good afternoon everybody and welcome to the Nurburgring for round 7 of the 2011 FIA Formula 2 Championship. Mirko Bortolotti took pole position for this one then, and it really was a commanding performance from the young Italian, but an impressive qualifying from Mihai Marinescu to line up second on the grid, and our Spa man Will Bratt, the man who won the opening race of the weekend in Spa, will line up in third position. So we are just about ready to get underway. It's Mirko Bortolotti versus Mihai Marinescu off the front row. It's Will Bratt and Alex Brundle on row 2. The green flag waved then from the back of the field. The cars get ready as the lights come on. And we're away. It's a very slow start actually from Will Bratt, isn't it? Ramo Pinheiro gets a little bit bulked up behind him, but Mirko Bortolotti is flying away at the front. He is comfortably going to hold the lead. Jack Clark in the black and yellow car diving up on the inside. He somehow manages to take second place after starting 6th on the grid. Ramon Pinheiro gets a little bit bulked in the middle. He's going to lose a position there in the midfield as well. Slower start from Sung Hak Mun, but it's Mirko Bortolotti who comfortably leads. Zanella is getting pushed onto the outside as they make their way around the arena complex for the first time. Zanella holds on around the outside of Marinescu, then takes the inside right-hander as the cars just try and sort themselves out. Tobias Hagevold, a disappointing qualifying from him, is forced out by Aman Ibrahim. But, well, James Gornall, Mirko Bortolotti has made a monster start.
That's right, Jack. He really has been on song this weekend with that pole position, and right now everything seems to be going his way.
So Alex Brundle is having to go defensive from Will Bratt as they head down towards the hairpin at turn 8 for the first time, the Dunlop curve. Jordan King is looking racy. He made a great start in the second race at Spa, and it looks like he's put in a fairly good one there again, but Will Bratt gets very sideways on the exit as they come up to the Schumacher S. It's pretty much flat out in 5th gear, that little sequence of corners, about 130 miles an hour, but as we make our way down into the bit curve for the first time, Bortolotti starting to pull away. Then it's a three-way train really for second place. Ramon Pinheiro having a little scrap with Jordan King. He gets past Jordan King, and then it's Miki Monras, and then behind him is Kelvin Schnooks actually, so Schnooks has made a good start as well, but the battle is going to be on for second place. Jack Clark knows it. He goes a little bit defensive on the way up into the chicane for the first time, and is just about able to hold that position. Marinescu still in 4th, so Marinescu really the big loser off the start, and Christopher Zanella the big winner after a poor qualifying performance. He has managed to climb further back up the order. Here's a battle of the Germans then. Tobias Hagevold sliding past Johannes Theobald as they turn into the final corner at turn 16 and back out onto the start-finish straight once more. And here's Miki Monras having a look at up the inside of Jordan King a little bit further back in a move for second place. Zanella dives up the inside of Jack Clark and makes it through, and that was really a classic piece of defending. Zanella didn't turn in till very late in the day, so Jack Clark had no chance of the cutback.
That's right, Jack. He just held him out there, and it meant that it was an easy manoeuvre for him. And as soon as you've lined that up, you know it's finished.
So Ramon Pinheiro ahead of his fellow Barcelona man Miki Monras. They are running there a little bit further down the order, about 6th and 7th for those two. We've had no casualties on this first lap. Mirko Bortolotti running very strongly as he turns through turns 6 and 7. Zanella now starting to make a breakaway from Jack Clark, and Will Bratt and Alex Brundle. The Battle of the Brits makes its way down towards the hairpin at the Dunlop curve once more. Will Bratt, who moved up to 4th position in the championship with that strong weekend at Spa, picking up a 1st and a 3rd after a difficult weekend at Magny-Cours, down in the lower reaches of the top 10. And Jordan King's been impressive, hasn't he, since coming into the series at Spa, James? No one expected him to be running quite this far up the order.
Jordan really is doing well, considering his only experience is in Formula One UK. Before that it was just karting, and he's consistently towards the middle and front of the grid, so he is doing a fantastic job.
So a definite train starting to queue up behind Jack Clark at the moment, the man from Effingham in Surrey, enjoying his strongest race of the season so far. A man who picked up a couple of podiums last year, 2 I think, one at Brands Hatch, to be looking to pick up his first podium of the season so far. It was 3 podiums he picked up last year, in fact, Brands Hatch, Algarve and Valencia, but right in his slipstream is Mihai Marinescu. Clark jinks to the inside to defend, and that works very effectively. Marinescu getting all sorts of out of control in the braking zone, manages to collect it all up and back together again, so Clark holds on to that 3rd place, but he's going to have to defend like that for a long time, I feel, because Alex Brundle and Will Bratt are starting to come into contention, and Ramon Pinheiro. And of course it's worth pointing out boost management as well, because these guys have got the overboost if they wish to use it, which ups there to 500 brake horsepower. Ramon Pinheiro coming into the pits then, and I think this is a drive-through penalty, James.
That's right, Jack. Actually, he was out of line on the start grid, and they've given him a drive-through for it, so that's quite a harsh penalty, but expected.
Well, that's a signal, an indication really of Ramon Piñeiro's luck so far this season, and coming so early in the race as well. We haven't got that much field spread here, so Ramon is going to drop right down the order. Mickey Monras is going to be coming under pressure from Jordan King. There is Ramon making his way through the pit lane and out again. He's going to be, I think, pretty much plumb last by the time he comes out. But there is Jordan King. He is heading around the second left-hander in the Mercedes arena and then out on towards the turn 6 left-hander, which is where our leaders already are. Here is Monras. He seems to have shaken off Jordan King just a little bit, but and that's Mihai Marinescu. Marinescu is out from 4th place. That's down there at turn 6, I think, isn't it? So we'll see if we can find out what happened to Mihai, but he has thrown this away. That was a strong performance. He was in a strong position. He was on course to equal his best result of the season. Here's a look at the replay. That's an odd one, isn't it? Because it just looks as though he's perhaps lost it, applied the power too hard coming out of the first left-hander at turn 6. And Alex Brundle's off, and that looks like a front left suspension damage, and he is not a very happy man at all, so Alex Brundle is out of the race. Well, we'll have to wait and see. That's down at the first corner, isn't it, that he's gone off? So we'll have to wait and see what happened. He was involved in some fairly close battles. Mirko Bortolotti continues to lead as Christopher Zanella gets very wide in round 7 of the 2011 FIA Formula 2 Championship. Bortolotti comes into this weekend having retaken the lead from Zanella and putting himself in the prime position to win the Williams F1 test drive that comes up at the end of the season. Jack Clark running there in 3rd place, fairly comfortably now ahead of Mickey Monras after Alex Brundle's retirement. And we've seen Will Bratt, look, he's now back behind Kelvin Schnuck, so I'm assuming Alex Brundle and Will Bratt got together. That was possibly the cause of Alex Brundle's retirement. We didn't see it, but that would suggest that would be the case. Here now is a move being made. This is Julian Theobald again, isn't it? Now with Ramon Piñeiro trying to make his way back up the order after his drive-through penalty earlier on in the race. He gets the car stopped nicely on the apex. Theobald, though, getting the cut back. So a good move there from Theobald.
Ramon's making quite good progress, and we've seen this before where he's had a problem and driven back through the pack, but he doesn't really have much hope of some good points here. He needs to stop making these mistakes.
Yeah, he has done a lot of driving back through the pack this season, hasn't he? So he is right up behind Julian Theobald now as they make their way out towards this left-right section. And Aman Ibrahim right on the back of Tobias Hagevold. And really, Hagevold is someone who, at his home circuit, we thought he'd be performing a little bit stronger.
Yes, he had a disappointing weekend, I think, at Spa, which might have knocked his confidence a bit after his dominant performance in 2009. I think, though, if we see him get a good result, he'll power back through.
And he is in 5th place in the championship coming into this weekend. Aman Ibrahim is down in 13th place. That's the man behind him, who has picked up 1 points finish so far this season, I think, at the second race at Silverstone, where he came home in 7th place. Behind him is Benjamin Lariche. Then we're seeing this Julian Theobald and Ramon Piñeiro battle, and Julian Theobald with a reasonable amount of single-seater experience, but a handful of races in World Series by Renault, and he did Formula 3 Euro Series in Germany back in 2007. And, he and his brother Johannes Theobald actually running very strongly this weekend, returned to Formula 2 after making a few appearances last season. Now here's Mikkel Mack, the young Dane, right up behind Will Bratt. Mikkel Mack really has to be the kind of most improving driver this season, isn't he? Because other people have come in and found their point and stayed there, but Mikkel Mack really progressing up the field.
He is. He started further towards the back, but he's just made that steady progress, and he was, of course, the youngest driver in the field before Jordan King came in. And so with just Formula Renault behind him, he is actually doing a great job.
Makes his way down towards this left-right sequence. The left-hander, 3rd gear, 105 miles an hour, then a slightly slower right-hander at just 65 miles an hour. But Mikkel Mack putting the 2009 Euro 3000 Series title winner, Will Bratt, under a reasonable amount of pressure down into the Dunlop curve. And then they will climb the hill once more up towards the Schumacher S's. Bratt, after what I presume was contact with Brundle, is just starting to get his head back in the zone a little bit after getting ruffled for a few laps. And into the left-hander they turn, and out towards the flat-out blast up towards the chicane, and this is one of the opportunities, really, where you can use the overboost to try and get alongside. Mikkel Mack, though, that's not going to help him. Very, very sideways on the exit curve, keeps it all together, but my talk of using the boost to get past was a little premature there.
You never know, Jack, maybe he pressed it on the way out of the corner in preparation for a move, but he did push just a little bit too hard there.
It's an extra 75 brake horsepower that the overboost button gives you, so it is a considerable amount of power to put through the wheels of what are already pretty powerful machines. So Mikkel Mack drops back just a tiny bit as he crosses the line this time behind Will Bratt, making their way down towards the first corner, and then Timo Stortz running behind them. This is the battle for, I think, 7th place. Will Bratt currently is holding ahead of Mikkel Mack in 8th, and that would be Mikkel Mack's best result of the season so far. He picked up a 9th position at Silverstone. He was looking sideways again there, but he was looking odds-on for a good position at Spa, wasn't he, until he got involved in an incident with Benjamin Lariche.
Yes, he had an incident back at one of the chicanes, and he was leaving some big dark lines there, really pushing hard. And if I was to tip anyone of all the youngsters this year for a surprise podium, I think actually it would be Mikkel Mack.
Okay, well, we'll hold you to that as Benjamin Lariche makes his way out of the stadium complex. But in the 7th place battle still, he's being headed by Will Bratt. And then we've got a longer train further back. There's Johannes Theobald in the black car that just flashed out of shot. He's the man we were talking about earlier. Benjamin Lariche sending one up the inside now of Aman Ibrahim. This is going to be good news for Ramon Pinheiro, who you can see in the white and fluorescent yellow car behind, because if they start battling, Pinheiro will be able to close in and possibly make a move. And as we can see now, he's right on the back of Aman Ibrahim, but Lariche has moved up into 13th position then. So Benjamin, who has picked up 1 point in the second race at Silverstone, and an 11th place at Magny Cours as well, so he's not on for his best result of the season unless he can get up to challenge the likes of Johannes Theobald and Max Snegerev. But here is Pinheiro side by side with Aman Ibrahim. Pinheiro's surely going to get pushed wide. He is, keeps his foot in and keeps the position, does he? Well, they're still going to be side by side on the run down into the hairpin. Ibrahim will have the inside line. Pinheiro fancies his chances around the outside. It's a long, long way to go around there, Ramon. And as a result, he doesn't quite hold the position, but he's looking like he's going to get past Ibrahim before too long.
I heard Alex Brundle actually talking about that outside manoeuvre on the hairpin, and he says if you're brave enough, you can take people by surprise.
There's not many people braver than Ramon Pinheiro, I don't think, out there in the field. He's going wide into that corner as well, so pushing very hard is the young man from Barcelona who did finish 3rd in the Formula Palmer Audi Championship in the UK last year. Will Bratt, after saying it looked as though he'd kind of sorted his head out, he seems to be coming under a little bit more pressure from Mikkel Mack, who again is lighting up those rear tyres, but doesn't seem to be struggling with tyre wear just yet. And all this is allowing Timo Stortz just to slightly move a little bit closer into the action for what is 7th, 8th and 9th position, with the 6th place man Kelvin Schnooks up in front of them. And this is an impressive performance from Schnooks as well. This is looking like it could be his best result of the season so far. Bratt going wide into the hairpin. Mikkel Mack at the moment just following, perhaps just saving a few boosts until he knows he can make the move for definite.
Will looks a little bit tentative actually. It might be that he does have a problem. You mentioned that we think it could be him and Alex Brundle that came together. And he locked up a little bit a couple of corners ago, and I think he might be nursing a problem.
So they make their way down into this left-right sequence of corners, and here's Mack as I thought he was having a little look up the inside. It's a brave move there, and if anything that's going to compromise his exit speed, isn't it? So he's going to be further away from Bratt. You need to really either make the move or don't make the move. Those half-hearted looks compromise your apex speed.
That's right, it's a little bit like chess. You have to set these things up a few corners in advance, and when you get it right, it's very satisfying.
And I'm imagining that Mirko Bortolotti is a very satisfied Italian right now. Turns through the Coca-Cola curve once more to head out over the start-finish line. It's been a dominating performance from Mirko Bortolotti, who takes the victory in round 7 of the 2011 Formula 2 Championship. He's a very happy young Italian. And here's a look at the classified results then. 6.7 seconds clear of Christopher Zanella in the end, with Jack Clark a further 15 seconds back, holding off a reasonable amount of pressure from Miki Monras, and Jordan King finishing in 5th position to pick up his best result in only his 3rd race of Formula 2.
First of all, great race, very happy. First time in Nurburgring, and the win, it's impressive. We did a good job overnight. Obviously yesterday we were lacking a little bit of speed, And yeah, we improved a lot, the car and myself as well, in terms of driving, so I'm very happy for today.